ploughed into a lady, and I think it was a lady. I'm not 100% sure, but underneath the wheel, and you could hear screams. And then we heard gunshots again, and as we looked along the bridge, because we were only crawling along the bridge, there was bodies, literally.
Must have been about 10 bodies.
10, 12 bodies, all in different
just lying
places.
in different places along the bridge.
Being shot, yeah.
At least 5 people are dead tonight in London and dozens more hurt after a terrorist ran over people with his car and then went on a stabbing spree. Katie Hopkins is a global columnist at dailymail.com. She is widely despised vehemently by fashionable British liberals for saying that the country's multicultural policies are making attacks like today's inevitable. Katie Hopkins joins us tonight live. Katie, thanks for joining us. Is it too much to say that you are reviled by fashionable British liberals? And if so, why exactly are they so mad at you?
The Liberals are cross at me. You know, they are London. London is a liberal city. And we've seen a lot of this tonight after the attacks, after everything that's gone on here today. You know, coming from the rest of the UK, this foreign country compared to London, people are sad. People feel, I feel smaller as a result of the attacks today. I feel that we've been taken from. You know, we're a country that spends so much time tiptoeing around the cultures that choose to join us and not enough time defending the culture they've chosen to join. But because I say those things, I am widely hated for those views. And what I'm tired of hearing on the media everywhere at the moment here is we will not be cowed by terror. We stand united, because the big news is that's the message in London. That is not the message here in the UK.
Right.
People are cowed by one particular religion, which is promoted by the Muslim mayor, Sadiq Khan, son of the bus driver. You know, that's his only credential. People are cowed. People are afraid. And people are not united. Great Britain is more disunited. It is absolutely divided more than any time in its past. And we are, in fact, a nation of ghettos. I think Liberals here actually think multiculturalism means we all die together, and that's not a view I support.
So, but you have attacked the idea of multiculturalism itself, as distinct from a multiracial society, but you've attacked the idea of a multicultural society as inherently unworkable. Am I mischaracterizing that?
No, not at all. I was writing about it today at dailymail.com. I really believe that all we are is a nation of ghettos. I can go to the west of London and I'll find the Afghanis. I'll go to the east of London, I'll find the Eritreans. They don't speak to the Somalis, who don't speak to the Syrians. All that conflict, all that war, all that tension, that didn't get left behind. They just brought it here. They are enclaves of individuals here in the city. And if we imagine we're united, that we stand strong, that's a lie. All of these hashtags, you know, lights, visuals, candles, making hearts 1 year on from Brussels, that means nothing. Put that stuff away. Don't turn the lights off on the Eiffel Tower. That isn't a solution. We need a solution. We need to protect this country. And for the views of many outside of this liberal city, we are losing the country we loved.
What was the point of this exercise that got us to this place? Was it to make, as I suspect, a small number of rich people feel virtuous and good about themselves? Was there some other reason to create a society like this?
It seems to be this idea that it's a good idea to be multicultural, that that's the accepted right answer. You know, these days, opinions are no longer kind of, you know, you can't just have an opinion. Opinions are either right or wrong, whereas I would say there aren't any right or wrong opinions. You know, life is not an exam, and no one made you the invigilator, but somehow multiculturalism is the right answer. And we're already seeing tonight people talking about an attack that happened on Joe Cox by the far right, like there's some kind of game of snap or, you know, one-upmanship. And then we hear people saying, you know, we're worried about making sure we offer support to the Muslim communities. I'm sorry, that is not what the rest of the UK is thinking. The rest of the UK wants someone that is going to stand up for patriotic Brits. And somehow Brexiteers like myself end up getting the blame for this sort of thing when we're the ones who want to defend the country we used to be proud of.
Well, I suspect your leadership hates the rest of the country, and we recognize that very, very clearly here. Katie, thanks a lot for joining us.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Up next, we'll talk to a former Muslim who says President Trump's travel ban actually is the right idea, even if it has been implemented badly. Well, today's attack in London has provided yet another reminder, as if we needed one, of the danger posed by radical Islam. Ayan Hirsi Ali has extensive experience with the dark side of that religion. She was raised in Somalia and later Kenya as a devout Muslim, but later risked her life by becoming an apostate and helping to create a documentary criticizing Islam. She says the religion must undergo a reformation. She says President Trump's travel ban has the right idea, even if it was implemented badly. Ayan Hirsi Ali joins us tonight. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks, Taka, for having me.
So why is it that so many on the left internationally, in this country, in Great Britain, all through Europe, have so much trouble coming to terms with the religious component of this violence?
I don't know. I acknowledge, as you do, that it's masochistic, it's stupid. And I think that if you look at the Islamists, they don't go to the liberals and say, thank you so much for letting us, take over. We'll stop terrorizing you. They don't do it.
So what you're saying is the Islamists don't want sensitivity above all. That's not their goal.
No, the Islamists want thing. They want one thing, and that is a Sharia-compliant society and eventually the world. That's what their aim is. It sounds crazy to you and me and everyone else, but that's their objective. And they want to get there through dawah. This is an infrastructure of indoctrinating people into accepting it, and other ways of intimidating and forcing them to do it, and jihad, violence. And whoever is in their way is their enemy. And it doesn't matter how nice the liberals are, how accommodating and obliging they are, that's the objective of the Islamist. And if you don't understand that, then I don't think you should be in the business of making legislation or in the business of, the leadership, in thought leadership, because you're just incapable of understanding that problem.
Well, that would disqualify virtually everyone in charge of making policy in this country, except for about 4 people. So it's interesting that you say
not
that.
Everyone.
but most. I mean, there is this feeling that we don't have the moral standing in the West to criticize Islamism.
And they remind us that we don't have that moral standing because the Islamist sees non-Muslims and non-Muslim ideas, even non-Islamist ideas, as illegitimate, as against the idea of God.
Yes.
And I think we empower them because every time we appease and appease and appease, they see that as, they see God's hand, the way their perception of God, they see God's hand making it easy for them to advance their agenda. They don't see that here, is a decent, civilized society that is trying to understand them and give them time.
Yes.
And try to persuade them to put their weapons down. That's not how they see it.
Fascinating. So you had qualified support for President Trump's travel ban. Why?
Well, I think I listened to his speech in Youngstown, Ohio, when he was a candidate, and he, first of all, named the problem. He said, we are at war with radical Islamic ideology, and he put that ideology in the same sequence as fascism and National Socialism and communism, and he said, this is the ideology of the day. And so he went, with the travel ban. It was clumsily. He should have had a few lawyers look at it, legislators. Yes. He should have done it differently. But it doesn't take away from the fact that there are sometimes failing, or weak states. And it's incredibly difficult to vet people who are coming from there. He has intelligence and information that we don't have. So if he says, these are the 7 countries that I'm going to impose a temporary travel ban on until we have sorted out a vetting system, and that is vetting for ideology, then I don't see any problem with that. And I wouldn't look for all sorts of hidden things behind that.
It seems like getting people from foreign countries, not just Islamic countries, but maybe especially Islamic countries, to buy into the values of the West is really important. Do you think we do enough?
I don't think we do enough. I think, again, to go back to that, the president, when he was a candidate, to go back to that speech, he did mention assimilation. He said we have to have, Muslims, foreigners, aliens to come and assimilate. They must want to come here, and they must want to love our society. And I think we don't do enough. In fact, in the West, and I've been here for 20-something years, I forget that long, what I see is an apology and an apologetic attitude toward Western civilization, and that is wrong. Then you are seen as weak, and you are inviting aggression if you do that.
Yes. Our leaders hate themselves and the country they run, and so they inculcate that in new arrivals. It was wonderful to have you. That was really wise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for